Alrighty, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Everybody had a lovely day, and with that being said, let's get into the TA. Alright, guys, so we're gonna make this one a quick one. The first thing I would like to point out is that SPY is consolidating in this can go two ways here. So you have a flag-like manner right here. But then you also have this head and shoulders. So it really can go both ways. We're going to have to see what happens here. QQQ has the same thing going on. You can either look at that as a flag, or you also have this head and shoulders. We're really just going to have to see what happens at the open tomorrow. Last time you flagged like this, last few times over here on QQQ, you ended up shooting up. All right, you had a little one right here. Got up. All right. So I'm not sure what is going to happen from here, but we're going to be reviewing a few other things in this video. As you see last time, this happened on SPY, just like we saw in QQ. This did end up becoming a thing. We ended up shooting up. And I would argue you did have a, kind of does look like a similar formation to what you have right now. But then we're going to come over here to the daily time frame, and I will point out you have two green days here. All right, I know this is a red candlestick, but you have two green days, and you have decreasing volume here. So that is a thing. And you were right here below the July high. You come over here to SPY, and you're right here at resistance as well. You can go up to 460, but at that point, I'm going to say you're going to have a, you're going to have a $35, $40 retracement if you end up pushing all the way up to the July high, which I don't think is going to be the case, but can happen. All right, but at that point, I do think you're going to completely come all the way down here, maybe even fill this gap. That would be an absolute massive move that you went on. Let's see, that would be $50 without a real pullback. But as you saw, you had a straight $20 move up here, $26, and then you started consolidating. And then from there, you had another $17 move up, which that's insane. All right. And you still didn't have a pullback. So that is personally, still what I am looking for. You do have a whole bunch of doji candlesticks here, but you did form a hammer candlestick as the most recent bar. Now, coming over here to Mr. VIX, I will point out you did close the day out with a hammer candlestick, so that is something to note. You still do have your bullish divergence going on or RSI down here on the 4-hour time frame, and then you have a triple bullish divergence, so that's something to point out. You have a quadruple, so that's the thing. All right, but you come over here to IWM. You had a pretty sick, nasty shooting star candlestick right here off of this previous support and now resistance. All right, so that is pretty significant what happened today, which was fall through on this candlestick rejection off of this previous support and now resistance. But I will also note you had this broadening bottom and you just now broke out of that. You had a very large bullish divergence going on down here. That is something we're pointing out on the channel for quite some time. And then you finally did see that end up playing out, and it was violent. We had risk on behavior over here in the market, 12% on IWM. QQ, I also believe, ran 12%, 13%. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, as you guys can see, QQQ literally ran up to the high. So the high over here is 387.98. The high of yesterday was 387.75. So that is pretty nuts, guys. Just pointing out, like, QQ already pretty much hit the high over here, July high. It's, don't let me sound like a perma bull, but we're kind of going to all-time highs, guys. I think that's kind of just going to be the case. We're only $20 away. Excuse me, let me get some water. Alrighty. She ate a Popeye. My apologies. But yeah, guys, you come over here, NQ. This thing just looks bullish to me. It really does. But yeah, over here on the futures, you can see we're starting to rise. You see ES almost surpassed this high over here. Well, you got a ways to go over here. 0.25%, you're going to pass it. And at that point, you can't call it a head and shoulders. But you still have this range here. So we should just mark that right there, right? That's really the top of your range. But I'd argue right here is where sellers are stepping in. So watch for a, break above here. Maybe it's going to act as a flag and we have another leg up. I have absolutely no idea from here. But if I'm just being objective, which I am, yeah, guys, we can go either way here. We're in a, flag over here / a head and shoulders. So it really can go either way. We're gonna have to see what happens. You got the bullish hammer candlestick over on the VIX. VIX does typically move opposite the SPX. And then, you can come over here. So this is something that comes out every single Wednesday. Came out yesterday. Sorry, we didn't have a video yesterday. I was in New York. I was staying overnight in a hotel. And I had training for the whole day in New York. So I could not make a video. But we're here tonight. And I had to drive home today. And yeah, then I had a 1 to 9 shift and stayed till 9:30, and now we're here. I just ate a Popeye. That was that. All right, but you have 43.8% of people being bullish and 28.1% of people being bearish. Overwhelmingly, there's more bullish than bearish sentiment. My apologies. So you can't see the 1-year high. It can get, significantly higher, 20% higher than where it is right now. It can get all the way up to 51%. But I'm just going to point out you're at 24%. And this is a pretty big leap. Very clearly, a lot of people are getting on one side of the trade right now. It is almost in greed territory. You go up one more, you are going to be in greed territory. Now, that is what I was actually pointing out in my last video. I believe it was. It was that or the second to last video. What do you think is going to happen when we get to greed? All right, it's going to be a pretty big move in the stock market. All right, now I do think we are going to get a pullback because of things I'm showing you throughout this video. But I mean what I just said. I think we're probably going to head to all-time highs over here in QQQ. Let's just look at some of these different tickers over here. And we'll conclude the video with that. So Tesla actually looks pretty dang decent to me right now. This is on the weekly time frame. You can see you're just, consolidating for probably the next big move up. If you really want to, just draw things and speculate here, we have a massive inverse head and shoulders going on here. All right, doesn't really matter where you want to draw this thing, whether you want it to be over here or you want a slanted neckline, like something like that. All right, but I hope you see what I'm saying. That was very sloppy. Let's just that was a little sloppy. There we go. You boys definitely tired. I'm gonna eat another Popeye and then I'm going to bed. But I'm excited. I don't have work tomorrow morning, so guys, I will be day trading a lot on Friday. I'm hyped. I've not had a lot of time to do that. I keep missing some things. But yeah, look at some of these charts, guys. They look absolutely insane. You had a double bottom right here, and you just went absolutely berserker. Look, measured move here. You definitely did end up hitting that all the way up here. Look at that. You went straight for it. It's a $30 move. Imagine playing that thing. congrats if anybody's just been playing along for like quite some time over here. But guys, this is when you're gonna have your pullbacks. I don't know when it's gonna be, but you're probably at least gonna get something like this over here on things like Microsoft. But let's just go over, like, I think things are pretty mixed here. Google in it is just in a gigantic range, so not really anything, specific you can really chart on Goog. I don't think it's too clean if you ask me. I mean, up here you're gonna have resistance anywhere between this, up here and then right here. But yeah, what the heck is all of this? All right, you're all over the place. And then, but you are strong. So you're leading the charge tonight. Goog and Microsoft, I would say you were leading the charge. But what I want to come over here and point out is that Apple, you have had like 3 reversal candlesticks in a row. And that is, not the best sign. You're pretty bullish up until then. You just, you did have, 2 over here. You had a doji and then you had a shooting star. So, 1 reversal candlestick following an indecision candlestick, but now you have a hangman candlestick, a shooting star candlestick following a spinning top candlestick. So I do think Apple is probably going to be breaking down, and Apple's been like leading the charge here, right? I'd argue Apple and Nvidia, and then Microsoft have really been leading this charge. Microsoft is just getting to new all-time highs every single day over here. All right. New all-time highs on 1, 2, 3, 4 bars over here. 4 out of 5 trading. That's pretty crazy. All right, definitely in the charge. You got Avgo going on over here. It's probably, probably gonna fall to that arrow right there. Maybe do something like that. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that goes. All right, we could actually look at SMH right now as well. SMH. This is one that I think is looking pretty, this thing could fade all the way down there. That would be pretty, like, but they're all set up to do this. So that is also something I'm paying attention to. Look at that. All right. I want to see this break down. So, yeah, I'm not trained QQ, but you guys can really see, like, all of these are really, set to once they do start breaking down. Now, I wouldn't even put this one over here. You put it right over here. Once it breaks down, you're going to come down and fill this gap. And then you're probably going to come all the way down here. Let's just look on the hourly time frame. You can see what I'm talking about. Like, you do have some structure right here, but it really was over here. And you never came back to test it. That's $10 of range right there. So if you do break support, I would argue is like around right here. You're probably going timber here. All right, so that is definitely something to note. SPY, same thing. If you do start breaking down from here, like, yeah, this is the open, so you're probably going to get some buyers stepping in here, but it's not really much. I would argue once you break this right over here, you get an hourly close on that. It's wrapped. You're probably going to start fading this move. It's going to be a $6 move down till there's anything. But it's probably also just going to come, $8 move down to the breakout level. I mean, DIA has the same exact thing going on. You have this either, bull flag going on, or I would say more looking like a head and shoulders. We're going to have to see, all right? Futures are already, doing this. And if this ends up getting, past there, then you don't have a head and shoulders. That's also something. But, yeah, honestly, guys, things aren't looking too bad. Things aren't looking too good. AMD over here, you're right at resistance. You do have your RSI looking like that. That is something to note. TSM, RSI is up 70. Avgo, RSI is up at 70. NVIDIA, up at all-time highs again. RSI is at 70. MU, RSI is at 70. Like, guys, everything's looking the same here. All right. And Apple, again, you have just filled this gap. This has been leading the charge. You're probably going to see Apple start fading here. You also broke this hourly uptrend today. You actually started breaking down, over here, but you extend it because you can extend your trend lines right here. We can, make a new one. All right, or if we're gonna do something like that, all right, be watching this trend line. You kind of started breaking down from it, but we'll see what happens. But like you also have that going on right there. All right, these bearish divergences, guys, they're like everywhere. Like you can come over to SPY and we're just gonna take a look. Like you don't usually form these and go much further without a pullback. Like look, you have not gotten a decent pullback. You can't tell me, we haven't gotten that. We haven't gotten that. It's just not happening. Typically, when you get something like this, these divergences, you're going to see them played out. We just haven't seen them play out. Like over here, the dollar wise, how much do you pull back? $12. All right. Yeah, they'll be coming back to retest over there. See, that would be logical. That would make sense to me. All right, and then this typically just does not happen. Over here, this was a $14 pullback. They're to right there. I'm gonna pull them back $12. All right. See what I'm saying? $13. Yeah. All right, guys. So I think I am going to conclude the video there. I think I made my point. All right. People are on the bullish side. I think the market's being conditioned to just, buy these dips. And then I think we're probably going to get a decent pullback. Now, I don't know how far that's going to, actually pull back to when all is said and done. Like, what if we do something like this? I have absolutely no idea. But with how much we've ran, I have to imagine we're probably at least going to come back and revisit 430. All right. That would, that's really what I think is going to be the case. And you have your 50% retracement rate over there. So, think that is very likely. You also have your 200 MA and your 20 MA. And if we do put on the 20 MA, I just want to point out, you don't really, I'm just pointing out, let me point that out right here. You don't pop above it or under it without testing it. And we just never tested it, which is not, that's not ideal. You want to test it. Make it orange. Okay, there we go. Make that guy orange. Right there. Under it, tested it. Above it, tested it. Under it, came back up and tested it. Above it, tested it. Under it, tested it again. Tested it again. All right. Popped above it, you tried testing it. Popped under it, you tested it. Under it, tested it. And you guys see what I'm saying? Over it, you tested it. This time, guys, we just didn't test it. So, I think we're probably due for a pullback, considering we can use the 9 MA as well, because that is your most trending market there, and you're well above your 9 MA. So I'm just saying, with whatever metric you really want to use, we are due for quite a bit of pullback here. You could say, what am I looking for? Where are the Bollinger Bands? Where's my BB? Like every single metric, guys. Doesn't really matter what we're going to use. You are, you're pretty due for a pullback. Now, on the weekly time frame, you do have the Bollinger Bands expanding. That is a good thing. All right, that means we have volatility incoming. One direction or the other. I think it's probably going to be upside. But yeah, I still think we're probably going to get that pullback. But, who knows? Maybe we do end up coming all the way up here to 454. That is really the top side of this supply zone. The high of this 453.67, and the low would be the high over here of 451.08. I think somewhere between here and here, this is where sellers are going to be lying. Like as you can see, this is where you started stalling out. It's where your spinning top developed from. And, sellers are lurking right up in there. So if you can get above there, then we're talking 458 to 460. I don't think that's going to happen. But, yeah, anything could happen. And actually, I want to point something out. If we do start a multi-week pullback, it would look picture perfect here. All right, let's just look at another example of when, something like this could, or has played out here. All right, you could get a wick off of this 0.786 here, and then boom, your golden pocket would have ended up holding up. By the way, decreasing volume on this run up. This is a massive run up, decreasing volume. That's not a good sign. Nah, we'll go over here, decreasing volume, and then you just went flat. So maybe we're just gonna go flat. I have absolutely no idea here. No idea. But yeah, when was that other time here? Right here. Was it that? Was it over here? I don't remember. Maybe it was right here. I don't even remember. I don't know, guys. You often do run up and then come down and tap the golden pocket. All right, but maybe all of these occurrences you didn't. Maybe you just hit the 50 MA there. That was the thing. Or not the 50 MA, the 50% retracement. Regardless, guys, all right, you've taken out this whole thing on QQQ all at once. I think it's time. But if it's not time, that's fine. The market can actually do whatever it wants. But you're getting really close to all-time highs. So I want to point that out. You only have $20 to go here. So, now's your chance. That's all I really got to say. But yeah, with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.